Hi there, and welcome. You know, if you're over 50, packing up your longtime family home and relocating across state lines is, well, it's easily one of the most emotionally significant transitions you can make later in life. It's a total reimagining of your day to day world. But when that move is driven by a deep desire to be closer to your grandchildren, it can also be one of the most profoundly rewarding decisions your family will ever make. Watching your grandchildren grow up right down the street, rather than through a screen or from a distance, it honestly changes absolutely everything. So let's dive right into this explainer. We're going to look at the practical side of this journey, what you need to think through, what to plan for, and exactly how to set yourself up for a really beautiful new chapter. This right here is the question that usually starts it all. The reasons for making this kind of move are so deeply human. It's really about shifting from being that twice-yearly holiday visitor to an active, present part of your grandchildren's everyday lives. It's about being in the bleachers for the school events, the casual weekend drop-ins, and yes, being around for those ordinary Tuesday afternoons that just make up the real fabric of life. I love this quote from the experts at Legacy Navigation. They point out that true connection comes from becoming part of the rhythm of daily life, rather than just being a visitor in it. And it's so important to remember that this closeness provides incredible practical support for everyone involved, too. As a grandparent, you could help with school pickups or step in with childcare in ways that are literally impossible when you live across the country. And for your adult children, they gain this invaluable peace of mind just knowing you're nearby, instead of them trying to manage any future health concerns from afar. It's a true win-win, where both generations benefit so deeply. Section 1. Try before you commit. The power of the extended visit. Okay, so before you make any permanent decisions or start packing up your boxes, there's a really crucial first step we need to talk about. A trial run. Armstrong, Fleming, and Moore, they're a financial planning firm with a lot of experience in retiree relocation. They strongly recommend taking a 1 to 2 week extended visit before you fully commit. Because honestly, a long stay reveals practical realities that a quick, fun holiday visit just won't. You need to actually experience the neighborhood on a normal, busy weekday. You need to feel the climate and just observe the daily pace of the area. And actually, even more importantly, you need to sit down and have a very honest conversation about your adult children's long-term stability. You know, adult children don't always stay put, and it is absolutely essential to make sure they plan to remain in the area before you uproot your entire life to join them. Section 2. Researching the realities, healthcare, taxes, and cost of living. Once you feel genuinely confident about the location, we pivot to the necessary logistical research. Now I know moving across state lines can sound incredibly overwhelming, but if we just break it down into manageable pieces, it's completely doable. Let's look at the 3 major variables you're going to need to explore. The most crucial thing here is comparing your current state to your destination state across these 3 categories. First up, healthcare access. This is paramount. You need to know if your specific Medicare Advantage plan will transfer or if it needs replacing, and whether your current specialists operate in networks that actually cover your new state. Second, take a really good look at the tax picture. State taxes vary wildly. Some have zero income tax, while others might tax your retirement income, your Social Security, or pensions very differently. You've also got to factor in property and sales taxes. And finally, look at the overall cost of living. Selling a home in a higher cost area and buying in a lower cost area can free up some very meaningful equity, which means if the numbers align, this move could actually improve your financial position. Section 3. Selling and moving logistics. Navigating the transition. Next up, let's talk about the timeline for actually getting this done. For most homeowners over 50, an out-of-state move starts with selling a long-held family home, maybe somewhere like the Chicago area or the south suburbs. Getting this timing right is just so important. It should be a thoughtful, carefully paced process, definitely not a rushed deadline. Selling too early could leave you stuck in temporary housing, but selling too late? That just creates unnecessary pressure on everyone. Let's look at how we build this into an actionable plan. Long-distance moves do require a bit more coordination. Step 1 is partnering with a seniors real estate specialist, an SRES agent, who really understands your specific emotional and logistical timeline. Step 2 is hiring moving companies that specialize in senior relocations. They get the sensitivity of moving a lifetime of belongings and can even help you with the downsizing process. Step 3, and this is a big one, always get a binding or a not-to-exceed quote in writing. That protects you from unexpected charges. And finally, Step 4, remember that transport times are often longer than you might think. A move from Chicago down to the southeast or the southwest can take 5 to 10 days, so make sure you plan for a period of overlap. Okay, take a deep breath.
the boxes are unpacked, and you finally arrived in your new state. It's incredibly exciting, but let's be honest, it can also be a little disorienting. Yes, you have family nearby, which is the whole wonderful point of the move, but you're also kind of starting from scratch socially.
Building a life in a new place takes intentional effort, so please be gentle with yourself as you find your footing. While family is your primary focus, research is very clear that social connection is one of the strongest predictors of well-being in later life. To genuinely settle in, you need to establish independent routines. Join some local groups, find a place of worship if that's an important part of your life, and just create a world outside of family time. At the same time, keeping up with the friends you left back home requires some deliberate effort too. Prioritize video calls and plan visits with those folks who know your full history. I do want to offer a quick word of reassurance here. Life changes. Adult children sometimes move for work, and grandchildren grow up and leave for college. Armstrong, Fleming, and Moore always advises keeping your options open and staying flexible. What works beautifully in your early retirement years might evolve a bit later on, and that's okay. It isn't a reason to avoid making the move, it's just a gentle reminder to do it thoughtfully, adapting as life unfolds without burning any bridges behind you. Making this kind of transition is complex, but I want you to know you absolutely do not have to navigate it alone. If you're looking for a little more support, there are some wonderful, completely free resources available for you. You can download the concise guide, Moving Your Parents' Advice from an Expert, which walks through the key steps in plain, easy-to-understand language. There's also a complete Homeowners 50-plus resource library available. It's packed with guides on downsizing, senior living options, and care alternatives to support every single part of your journey, along with purely educational information on how I help sellers navigate all of this as an SRES professional. Moving closer to your grandchildren is truly one of the most life-affirming decisions you can possibly make. Yes, it requires careful planning, looking closely at your finances, and really honoring the emotional weight of leaving a long-held family home. But getting this process right, it makes all the difference in opening up a beautiful, stress-free new chapter. So I'll just leave you with this thought. If those ordinary Tuesday afternoons with your grandchildren could be yours again, what's holding you back from making them a reality? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Whenever you feel ready to explore what this journey might look like for your family, guidance and support are always right here for you.